Hello my friends, today I'm sharing something from the Vietnam War, a gun track released by AFV Club. I will be building this model with minimal extras, so only machine guns and empty shells by master-model and some pieces by Eureka XXL. The model is meant to represent the real vehicle and I will be using photos of the original, although this isn't entirely clear either. Based on what I've collected, it's clear that the vehicle underwent various modifications, both in terms of equipment and paint. However, using the decals from the kit, I will try to stay as close to the original as possible. One more note, the model is published in AK Interactive's latest publication and we have today November 2025. It's titled US Armor in Vietnam. You can find the link in the description of this video. There is also another my model I've shown exclusively to my patrons some time ago, so now you can read about it in this book. In today's episode I will start with this and I will end with this state of the model. Okay, so the first thing I did on the model was adjusting the wheels, or more precisely modifying the appearance of the tires. I didn't replace them with resin ones because the modification is very simple. Of course I won't achieve the characteristic bulge, but I focused mainly on the area where the tire touches the ground. As you can see, simply cutting them with a hobby knife and sanding them will give a much better look. Of course, if it doesn't work out, there is no going back, but who dares wins. The thing that generates the most question is, of course, the nut and bolt, which I glue onto my models. Of course, it serves as a handle during painting and the nut stays there forever. I don't bother removing it because it's pointless and it's really inexpensive. The most important thing is to prepare it properly and seal it with the right amount of glue. I also accelerated the glue drying time with AK Interactive Accelerator. After a few moments everything is ready to use. Machine guns are a very important element of the model, hence the name of this vehicle is Gun Track. Master Model, the producer of these sets and also my patron, supported me with the kits I used on this model. In my opinion, there are some of the best kits featuring this weaponry available. Look how well prepared everything is and how easy it is to assemble a single unit. It's pure pleasure for me, so I decided to show the entire process of building one machine gun, so you can see if it's worth spending a little money on such an extra kit. Let the work go on, and I would like to mention my wonderful patrons who support my activity. Massive thanks guys! My special words of gratitude go to Bulldog09, Christopher Obarski, Dale Etchison, Dan Dubois, Hans Zub, Peter L, Steve Ankin and Karsten Keddy. But the people listed just now are also my great patrons. They all believed in my passion, saw something valuable in it and decided to support me. It's really great when you know that there are a few crazy guys in the world who think like you, want to watch what you build and appreciate the effects of your work. This is really super motivating and gives me the strength to continue working. Please don't forget that you can be one of them. It's very easy because there is a chance to enter this superb group without pay a penny for 7 days free trial. This way you can check whether you like what I publish for my patrons or not. You can surf on my page with no limits, watch and download all superb high-resolution pictures, watch progress shots, check stories with unpublished in other media's models, read the articles, watch the videos with no adverts and enjoy other benefits. Just for free. That's why in each episode I encourage you to support me in my passion. And I realize it's not easy these days, but if you have a few bucks you could drop in my cup, that would be great. Thanks! Okay, the armament is ready, as is the entire chassis I am currently presenting. Likewise the cargo bed, cabin and main body of the M113, which will serve as a fighting compartment. Honestly, plastic isn't my favorite material for AFV Club models, but I have to admit that the parts fit together seamlessly. I decided to glue the main components of the model together before any paint appears on the model's surfaces. I think it's better to do this before painting because the plastic isn't yet covered with any coating that would hinder the glue adhesion. Of course, this solution has its advantages and disadvantages. The advantage is that it makes painting easier, as we can paint everything in one go without dividing the process into individual parts. The disadvantage is that some areas are harder to reach with a stream of paint. However, with enough time it can be done effectively and with good results. Ultimately, for me, and in this particular case, assembling the model as a whole was the more convenient solution. Of course, I'm not talking about the details like the armament or wheels, as those will be painted separately as I usually do. So the whole thing looks very nice after dry assembly. The model and its construction and configuration with the M113 is massive and large, so it will certainly be noticeable, especially since the paint job is also unique. Assembling the model took a while because, as I mentioned, the only elements outside the vehicle's body were the wheels and the armament. After mounting the wheels on the wooden sticks, I started cleaning all the parts with model degreaser, removing any dirt that had appeared on the surfaces during work. After a few minutes the whole thing was ready for painting. First, I covered all the parts with grey primer. This will definitely make painting easier later because it will be good to see where the paint is already applied. If I had used black primer, it might have been a bit problematic. I started by painting the wheels, or more specifically the tires, which I coated with rubber black. This is the perfect shade I always use. I painted the rims a base color of black. I didn't use any masks and painted them all with a brush, and the difference in colors is immediately visible. It looks okay to me. After that I started painting the chassis. Now without further ado I could cover everything with black paint, focusing solely on evenly distributing the airbrush spray to avoid streaks. Painting the upper surfaces was quick and easy. Two thin coats did the job well and I was able to set the model aside to dry. Even though the model is black, I treated it the same way as the others and started to lighten some of the details with a lighter shade. After finishing the airbrush, I picked up a brush and painted the details all over the model, also painting them with a lighter shade. This definitely brought them out visually. The cab roof was made of canvas, so its color is quite light and stands out strongly against the black of the vehicle. I first painted it wood base and then applied reflective green and German field grey filter. After drying, this gave a good enough result. I painted all the machine guns black, leaving the details for later. The front of the truck has a distinctive yellow marking. I airbrushed the larger elements, first masking of the relevant section. The front, where there are many narrow elements, I painted with a brush because masking would have been too time consuming. Unfortunately, I made a small mistake and a bit of paint landed on the front of the cab. The additional application took a few minutes, but it was easy to fix. It's time to apply the decals. First I covered all the areas with glossy varnish because while applying small decals directly to the paint wouldn't be a problem, but applying and properly aligning the snake image on a matte surface would be very difficult. As I mentioned, I used the decals from the kit. After applying each decal, I gently pressed it onto the surface to eliminate air bubbles, and then I moistened it with a decal adapter which properly embedded the thin film into the glossy paint. Applying the snake decals wasn't easy and took me some time, but I can't imagine painting these elements by hand. Of course, everything can be done easier or harder, faster or slower, but why make it harder? So just take a look how much work they needed. It's undoubtedly the most distinctive element on the entire model, although on the other hand, the entire vehicle has character and a unique look. However, this colorful accent is the first thing that catches your eye. It's quite easy to find other transfers produced by Star Decals that match this truck configuration online. After the decals were completely dry, I gently sanded them with sandpaper and then covered them all with another layer of glossy varnish. For now I'm finishing this episode and next part will be available soon, so stay tuned. And I'm not pushing, but you know, it would be great to have like, new subscription and some tactical comment containing more than 5 words to feed the YouTube algorithm. So for now, thanks for watching, that's all for today, see you next time, cheers!